we own 1645 hectares, so or 4,000, roughly 4,000 acres, and we're covering probably most of that at least once in the year. And with the irrigation, which is 650 acres, we'll cover that at least 4 or 5 times in the winter crop and the summer crop. So it's quite an intense program. As you can see, we run a John Deere 4710, which we bought second hand 9 years ago. She's done a hell of a lot of work since then. We use a high boy because we go over the top of canola and full flower, so we want to be able to get over the top of that. We also do seed corn, and we'd like to get in seed corn to be able to apply insecticides in there as well. I use a triplex body simply because it allows me to carry 3 nozzles with me. So if I get down to a field and discover the conditions are not quite right or not what I feel it should be, I can change that over. And also they're simply the most common nozzles I use. One is TT03 twin jet, simply because it allows you a little bit smaller droplet, but the low drift technology, using that technology, so I can get a relatively small droplet. I'll probably use that mainly for insecticides and some of the contact herbicides. The other one I have on here is a 7030, which is only a new one from TJ, and it's very, very good. It's an air induction nozzle, so it puts one stream down at 30 degrees and the other at 70. Absolutely ideal for applying fungicides on crops, because you get the penetration through the canopy and then you get the layer across the top. What I have found, it is quite good with insecticides in corn, because it gets a penetration through and you also get a float in there, gives you a bit more time for contact with the insects as it goes through the canopy. And the other one, as you see here, is just a straight streaming nozzle for liquid fertilisers, which I do quite a bit of in the later stages of crop. So I generally leave that in there for when I do streaming nozzles. So, and you can see they're all O3s, and the obvious question I'm going to get asked, why are they all O3s? I have an absolute aversion to going above 20 k's when spraying. If you've watched the nozzle and its pattern, you go above 20 k's and that you begin to get the speed arc, as I call it. I dislike that. The nozzle should go to the ground at roughly the angle it comes out of the nozzle, so it gets a penetration through the canopy and a better pattern. Once you start to deflect it, you start to get a lot of issues with misses and not hitting the target how it should be hit. We do manage aquifers underneath our centre pivots. So that the chemicals are used in the correct manner, so they do not impact on anybody else in the environment. We've actually got one of the few people in Australia which now have a mobile weather station in their machine. My reason for this is simply because of litigation, and also with some chemicals they're very specific in relative humidity, and being able to identify when to stop with these chemicals, therefore making the most effective use of it. The other thing I have all the time in my cab is the spray sheet. So I have that in the cab, so whomever is spraying, most of the time it's myself or my brother, we can see exactly what's got to happen. And obviously you can put those records into this system as well. As an agriculturalist, we have a responsibility to show to the wider society that we are using these chemicals in an appropriate manner. I decided to enter the sprayer awards just simply that I think people need to see that people do it right, and it's not just a 5-minute job, jump in the tractor and go and do the spraying. It's being precise, getting it right, and I think that's what my base idea is by entering the awards, is to try and show that if you do it right, there are payoffs in making sure your chemicals work to their absolute potential.